Hi guys. So in this video, we need to configure the SQL server. So in the previous video, we configured the AD server. So now we are going to configure the SQL server. Okay. So let's start. So we are in the SQL server now. So we need to change the IP address and the name. And then we can join this SQL server in the our lab domain. Okay. So first change the IP address. So uncheck the V6 and go for the IPv4. So here I am providing the IP address as 10.10.10.12. So here we need to provide the DNS server because our AD itself is the DNS server. So provide the AD server IP address. Click OK, then close. Go for the name. So here change computer name as SQLServer. So click the domain here and then lab.com. Click OK. So here we need to enter the administrator and password. See, it is saying welcome to lab.com domain. Click OK. Click OK and close and then restart now. So before logging this SQL server, so I'd like to create a dedicated user for all our lab purpose. So go to the AD server and tools and then AD users and computers. So here expand the lab.com and the users. So right click on the users, new user. So mention the username as lab admin. So lab admin will be the user for all our lab purpose. Okay, click next. So enter the password. Uncheck this one and select the third option. Click next and finish. And also I'd like to provide the permissions exactly same as the administrator. Okay, so now click on the lab admin properties. Keep it aside. Click on the administrator properties. Keep it on the left. So now I'd like to add each and every group. Okay, so where the administrator as a part of to the lab admin as well. So add now. Define. Now we have the all groups just like administrator. Click apply and OK. Close this one. Close this also. Now we are good to log in with the lab admin. So other thing, so we need to turn off the firewalls. So there is a defender firewall on every machine by default. So we like to turn off the firewall for the better communication between the servers. Okay. So we can do it for the lab environment. There is no issue. So turning off the firewall individually each and every machine will take some time. So I like to go with the group policy. So go to tools and then group policy management. So here in the group policy management, expand the forest and then domains lab. So right click on the lab and create a GPO in this domain and link it here. So name it as the turn off firewall. Okay, click OK. Click on this GPO, right click and edit. So go for the policies, administrative templates, network, and then I just move it aside a little bit. Network connections, defender firewall, domain profile. So here, select this one, protect all network connections and disable. Okay. And select the standard profile. Again, protect all network connections. Disable. Okay. Can close this window and close this one as well. So now group policy is created. So we just need to update the group policies. So go for the admin, PowerShell or command prompt, anything. And gp update/force. Okay, fine, it's done. So we can close this one. So now we can good to go with the SQL Server login. So here you can log in with the lab admin. Okay, good. Now we are in SQL Server. So here also we need to update the group policies. So open the PowerShell as admin or command prompt, anyone, gp update space /ports. Okay, fine, it's done. Close this one. So once you refresh this server manager, you can find it domain firewall off. Okay, so all good now. So you can configure the SQL Server installation. So I hope you already downloaded the required items. Okay, so copy those items in this downloads folder. Okay, so before that, so we have the C drive here. So I'd like to install the SQL Server in the D drive, another separate drive. So we need to add one more hard drive. So open the file in the top, settings, select this SCSI controller, hard drive, add, new, next. So name it as SQLDB and change the location. So go for the location where this VM created. Okay, and then click next. So here size. So 500 GB is enough for us. So select the 500 GB and click next and then finish. Apply and OK. So now here we need to go for the disk management. So right click on the start button and select disk management. So here we have the disk one. So right click on and online, right click again and initialize disk. Make sure you are selecting the GPT format and then click OK. Then right click on the unallocated value, new value, next, and here also label it as SQLDB, next and finish. You can close this one. Now we have SQLDB with the 500 GB. Okay. Now copy the required files in this downloads folder. So okay, so I copied the required SQL files. So now I'm using the SQL Server 2019 for this lab environment. So you can have the 2022, the latest version. So there is no difference between the latest version and this 2019 version. Okay. So fine. So first we need to open the required ports. Okay. So I have the SQL script here. So we need to open the PowerShell ISC as admin. Now select this one, show script, open, downloads script. So this is not the script actually, only command to enable the new rule, new inbound rule for a particular port. Okay. So I'll provide this mini script in the description, so you can have it as well. So now we can, first of all, we need to check the execution policy before running this. So get execution policy. So it is remote signed. So I like to set it as unrestricted. So it's a lab purpose. There is no issue. Unrestricted and click S to all. I can check again. It's a unrestricted. So now we are good to run this script. Run this one. Okay, fine. So every port is enabled. Good. You can close this one. And now you can open this ISO file. So actually, it will be a small exe file you will download by using that link. So once you download that exe file, so once you open that one, there will be an option to download the ISO media. So download that media. Okay. Then you can have the ISO file like this. So mount this one and then setup, run as admin and minimize this. So here in the left side, select installation and right side, new SQL Server standalone. So you can close this window, backend window. So we are using the free editions only. This for just for the lab purpose. Okay, no need to buy any softwares. So then click next. Accept the license. Next. Next. So uncheck this one. So it is checking for the SQL Server updates. So we didn't have the internet for this lab. So uncheck this one and then click next. See, it is showing warning for the Windows firewall. So you can click this warning. It will show a link. Okay. So you can click this link as well. So it will open the link in the browser. So we don't have the internet connection for this system. So you can copy this link and then open in your personal PC. So I'm opening here. So he's saying configure the Windows firewall to allow SQL Server access. Okay. So we need to configure the Windows firewall. So it means we need to open the required ports. So ports used by the SQL Server, ports used by the database engine. So for the SCCM perspective, we just need the database engine feature only. So no need to select any other features in the SQL Server. So for this database engine, so these are the ports, TCP ports and the UDP port. Okay. And below we have some other ports as well, like 21 and then 80. Okay. So we already ran the PowerShell script, right, to enable the ports. So on that script, we have all these port numbers. Okay. So no issue. You can ignore the present warning. Okay, fine. Close this one, then click next. So here, select only database engine. And then below, change the directory, change it to D drive, everything, and then click next. So we're using the default instance only for this lab purpose. So no issue. No need to provide any named instance. Okay. So click next. So here we need to cross check the collation first. Click on the collation. So fine. It is exactly what is recommended by the Microsoft. Okay. So click on the service accounts again. So here we need to provide the service account name and the password. Okay. So it is recommended to have the separate account for each SQL service. So here it's saying Microsoft recommends that you use a separate account for each SQL Server service. So for this lab environment, we don't need to provide any separate accounts. Okay. So we can use the lab admin account. So browse and then lab admin and password. So here you can provide the startup type as automatic. So for this also, browse, lab admin, and password. So now click next. So we are using the Windows authentication mode only. So make sure you are selecting the first one only. So now here add the current user. That is the SQL Server administrator. Okay. Then click next. All good. Seems everything is fine. So click next. So it is installed successfully. Okay. So close this one. So now SQL Server is installed. So we are good to install the remaining Management Studio and reporting services. So you can install those two in the next video. So until then, have a great day. Bye.